How's it going, everyone? This is GWR Studios, and today we are going to be finding some more goofs in Thomas and Friends. Today's episode is Percy and the Signal. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so at the beginning of the episode, we see Percy working in the yard. He was pulling some troublesome trucks. Percy loves playing tricks on the other engines, but sometimes they can get him into trouble. One day, Percy decided he was going to play a trick on Gordon. And here's where I spotted the first goof. Look at this passenger car in the background. It appears to be heavily damaged. The windows are slanted, and the roof is crooked.
Beep, beep! Hurry up, Gordon. The train's ready.
Percy tried to trick Gordon, making him think he was late for his train. Percy then ran off, pulling dirty coal trucks behind him. Gordon is irritated with Percy's tricks, so he tries to think of a way to get back at him. But did you notice something funny about the coal trucks? The coal load on Percy's second truck is lifted up. And to make matters worse, the brake van's roof is lifted too. Next, Percy would pull a trick on James.
Stay in the shed today, James. Sir Topham Hatt will come and see you.
Hang on a second. Look at all the steam that Percy is releasing. In the previous scene, we could hear the steam sound effect, but we didn't see any steam. In the next scene, though, Percy is releasing a ton of steam. This is a continuation error, and it's definitely a goof.
Sir Topham Hatt knows I'm a fine engine. He wants me to pull a special train.
Percy then left so he wouldn't get caught. Later on, James's driver and fireman showed up, but they couldn't get James to move.
The other engines grumbled dreadfully.
The other engines were upset with James. Not only did they have to do their work, but they also had to do James's work.
Show a wheel, James. You can't stay here all day.
James tells the inspector that Sir Topham Hatt told him to stay put.
He sent a message this morning. He did not.
The inspector tells James that Sir Topham Hatt is away.
Oh.
At that moment, James realized that Percy was playing a trick on him.
Where's Percy?
And here comes the next goof. When James leaves, the track rocks back and forth.
Percy had wisely disappeared. When Sir Topham Hatt came back, he was cross with James and Percy for causing so much trouble.
But wait a minute. James really didn't do anything wrong. It was Percy. Percy lied to James and told him that Sir Topham Hatt was on his way. You can't blame James for this. But by the very next day, Percy was still causing trouble. Percy brags to Gordon and James that Sir Topham Hatt chose him to pull some troublesome trucks.
He must know I'm a really useful engine.
Are you sure about that?
James thinks that Sir Topham Hatt wants Percy out of the way. But then, Gordon had an idea. They were going to play a trick on Percy. But take a look at James. His face is falling off.
James and I were just speaking about signals at the junction. We can't be...
Gordon's eyes are a little wonky in this scene. Gordon and James tell Percy that they were just talking about signals.
We had spoken of backing signals. Would you like me to explain?
Percy declines James's offer, and he tells him that he knows everything about signals. But in the back of his mind, Percy had never heard of a backing signal. But he didn't want to look silly in front of Gordon and James, so he pretended he knew what it was. Later that day, Percy ran into a signal, and it was set to danger. But then, the signal moved up. This signal meant the line was clear, but Percy had never seen this signal before.
Down means go, and up means stop. So upper still must mean go back.
Now there's a goof in this scene that I need to point out. Take a look at Percy's cylinder. It appears to be dangling from Percy's frame. Here's what Percy's cylinder normally looks like. So it's definitely sagging.
I know. It's one of those backing signals.
Percy's driver told him to get going, but all of a sudden, Percy started to go backwards.
Stop! You're going the wrong way. But it's a backing signal.
Percy told his driver what James and Gordon told him.
The driver laughed and explained.
Wait a minute. What's this yellow trim doing here? Percy doesn't have this yellow trim. This means that they reused footage from an old episode. The engine we're really seeing in this scene is Henry. So for whatever reason, this Henry clip slipped into the episode.
Oh dear.
Percy wanted to get moving before Gordon and James showed up, but it was too late. Gordon saw everything. Percy was extremely embarrassed. And here comes another goof. Keep an eye on this area right here. When Percy goes under the pedestrian bridge, you can see the shadow of a studio member. That night, the big engines talked about signals.
They thought the subject was funny. Percy thought they were being very silly.
And this marks the end of the episode. Alright you guys, so those were all the goofs I found in Percy and the Signal. This episode had some careless goofs in it. Now remember, if you saw a goof that I didn't point out, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.